Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new Getting Started with 40k video. Now, as per usual with any of these videos, if you like them, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, tell your mates to subscribe as well, because why not, and if you fancy it, drop a comment down below. It's always greatly appreciated, it helps the channel grow as well. Now, quick good old DLTR for this series is that I am going through what I would pick if I was starting a new Warhammer 40k army for a budget of £200. For me personally though, I will like having a variation of units, so which is why I don't double up on the combat patrol boxes, and I will sometimes pick things that are based purely on luck and not how they play in game. So there will be some odd choices at some point, I'm absolutely sure of it. Now, with this, I have been picking the pricing from Warhammer.com, and I've also utilised an independent retailer to kind of show you where you can buy for cheaper. So, because a lot of independents are a bit cheaper. So, for this series, I've chosen Wayland Games as the indie of choice, but of course there are many other great independent retailers out there, such as Element Games, Goblin Gaming, Just Play Games, and many, many more. So, shop around, get your best deals, save yourself some cash, and then you've got more to spend on more models, haven't you really? So why not? Now, I'm also going to add a rough points score for each army at the end of each section. It is only rough though, because the points can be based on your loadout and such like that for your soldiers, so it can have some ups and downs depending on how you want to build them. Now, the other thing with this series is that we have already checked out some great factions from Space Marines, Space Wolves, Thousand Suns, World Eaters, Leagues of Votann, and the Eldari and Drukhari and such like, and a few others. So there are a few to go, and there have been some great ones. So one of the things I will say is there have been some updates to certain boxes as we've been going through the series, because I should have recorded it all in one day, or at least tried to. So, for instance, I was going to have Adepta Custodes in this video, but I'm recording it on Sunday the 7th, and they've announced a new box, a new good old Combat Patrol box, so I will add that in later on into the series, but for now, what we're going to actually do, we're going to go to the ever faithful and very religious iconography army that is in the shape of the Adepta Sororitas, which are one of my favourites, in all honesty. I really like these, and I have a load of them, and yeah, need to actually get around to finishing painting them, in all honesty. But anyway, that's like most of my armies. So, as per usual, take a Combat Patrol box. The Combat Patrol box contains a Cannoness to act as your warlord, one of the Rhino troop transports, which has been modified to match the aesthetic of the Sisters of Battle, and they're very faithful regalia. Then we have a Repentor Superior cracking the whip over the four Sisters Repentia that you get in this box. We get one Penitent engine to purge the sin and provide redemption for the heretic or sinner that is piloting it. We also get 3 Arco-Flagellants who, in all honesty, look a little bit weird and a little bit bonkers, if I do say so. And then we also get 5 Seraphim who can fly around the battlefield, or you can change them over to Zephyrim, if I remember, or Zephyr, whatever they're called, if you wish to. And then lastly, you get 10 Battle Sisters. So, you get a decent amount of minis for your £95 if you're buying it from Warhammer.com. You also get a vehicle in this, which is really good value. So, the thing with this though is if you picked up Imperium magazine, you got all of that box, apart from that Rhino. So, it was a pretty good deal, that magazine was, and I must admit, I really enjoyed that. In fact, for pretty much all the Adepta Sororitas, I picked up 2 copies of each magazine, because I knew I wanted an Adepta Sororitas army, so I thought, let's get 2 of everything apart from a Cannoness. Anywho, moving on, I would take a second HQ unit in the shape of the Imagifier. So, Imagifiers wander around the battlefield preaching the exploits of martyrs who have perished to inspire those still fighting. And it's only 19 quid. It's a nice mini as well. I've got one of these as well. Really nice. Genuinely a pretty damn cool mini. Yeah, Got a bit of a soft spot for the Sisters of Battle, don't know why. Anyway, I then would actually be taking a second bunch of troops, so I would take a Retributor squad. They are the heavy weapons teams for the Adepta Sororitas, plus they're accompanied by 2 cherubs, because, you know, it's a very religious heavy army, in all honesty. And then, last but not least, I would actually get a box of Paragon warsuits. So, 3 Walker type minis that can be equipped with a variety of weaponry, so you can have sword, mace and such like that. They look really, really cool. I do genuinely like the Paragon warsuits. They look really nice, and they have a bit more of a sleek kind of aesthetic to them that makes them fit in just right with the rest of the Adepta Sororitas, as opposed to things like the bulky dreadnoughts and such like that. So they look really, really cool, and I genuinely like them. In fact, I actually have, I think I've got 2 lots of these as well, so I think I've got 6 of them. So, you know, because why not? Anyway, moving on. This bundle of Faithful Soldiery does come in at £196.50 if you're buying it from DW, not leaving you a lot of change. But if you shop around, go to a third party, you're talking around about £157.20 from really, really good third party retailers, and it has a rough points value of 767, which is pretty decent. It's a good looking army, it's a really good collection. There are some really nice minis as well that you can utilise to expand this collection as well. So, definitely worth looking into if this takes your fancy. Moving on though, I suppose we should have another look at one of the other Xenos races. And we're going to go straight in at the Genestealer cults, just because, they're a little bit nuts. So, the combat patrol for these guys contains Magus in all her bull-headed glory. We get a vehicle in the shape of a Goliath rock grinder, or you can build it as the rock truck. There are 5 aberrants for those close quarter combat sections. You get 5 acolyte hybrids, who are pretty good, and then finally 20. And I do mean 20 neophyte hybrids. So, a very Xenos heavy humanoid army that has a lot of minis in that £95 box. That's really, really good value, because you're getting a vehicle, you're getting close quarters combat, you're getting ranged. Yeah, they're a little bit squishy, but really, really cool, and they have a nice unique aesthetic to them as well. Now, after that fairly bumper combat patrol box, I would be taking a box of the hybrid metamorphs, which are actually the alternate build to the acolyte hybrids. So if you wanted, you could have one of each, and they both have a unique stats and such like, so it's entirely up to you how you go about doing it. And then I would be taking a little bit more vehicle based kind of soldiers, toys, and that's in the shape I would take some of the Atalan Jackals. They look really, really cool. Who doesn't want to include some hooligans on motorbikes and an ATV, because they look a little bit fun. And then, last but by no means least, I would take another vehicle. So this vehicle takes the form of the Achilles Ridge Runner, which has a few weapon options, and it looks a bit different as well, and it fits in with that rock grinder, so it's really, really nice aesthetic. That's not too bad. It's a pretty good little army for your money, so why not? I do quite like this army. I think it looks quite nice, and it's a pretty decent one as well. So, if you were to take this bunch of Xenos worshipping hybrid heretics, and it takes your fancy, sets you back £195 from good old G-Dub, or if you go into Wayland Games, it comes in around about £156, which gives you a roughly 910 point army. It's pretty good, and it's pretty good value for money for the amount of minis you're getting out of it. Now, the other thing I will say about this army in particular is, if and when Combat Patrol magazine comes out, the Genestealer cults are one of the combat patrols we get with this magazine. So, it's up to you, but you could wait till that comes out, but you're only getting that combat patrol box, or you can add to the combat patrol later on. It's up to you. But otherwise, it's a really good army. I do quite like this one. It has a very nice, unique look as well, which is always really good. Now, depending on what you would pick, whether it's the faithful ceramite-clad religious female warriors of Imperium Man, or the good old Xenos-following transhumanists of the Genestealer cults, entirely up to you. But two more great armies that are down in the bag, and yeah, I have chosen Sisters Battle over the other one, but the Genestealer cults also look really cool, so it's really down to you on that one. Let us know in the comments down below which one you'd prefer though, because I do love hearing back from you guys. Now anyway, that is it from me. We will have more parts to this series later on, and yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.